If you can take Vernon's name off the camera. Off.
The credits.
Off the credits, thank you. Thanks, Angie. Welcome back to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. Today's episode, once again, is going to be quite special because you're going to learn another dimension of our special guest, Talmie L.D. Shimedai. Talmie, did I say your name right?
Yes, you did.
Thank you. I like the way it rolls off my tongue. It's so easy to say. Talmie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You took us through a very nice, it's our pleasure. You took us through a nice journey in the last episode. You talked about the healthful foods, the delicious salad, which our crew, our camera person, Adjo Montabia, got a great shot of. And you also said some really interesting things in the last episode. You talked about turmeric, sprinkling turmeric over the whole thing. I never thought of that. I never do that on salad, so that's great. We learned a lot, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And talk about this girl. She is the green chili queen of M&M. But you spoke of spices, right? And that's when she really woke up and she said, oh my God, I've got to try this. And it looked delicious, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Today, I believe you're going to take us through, you're going to help us understand another dimension of what you do, which is Coenen Hydrotherapy.
Correct.
Before I reintroduce all our guests, tell us a little bit, what is that?
Well, Coenen Hydrotherapy is the process by which you clean the colon.
Right.
Simply put, it's water therapy for the colon.
Okay, so hydro is from water, and therapy is a cure, and colon is a large intestine.
Correct.
Okay. And basically, you're talking about water being taken in. Are you talking about actually ingesting the water? You're talking about natural water intake? How does it work?
The digestive system is composed of one long tube. It's the tube that begins with the mouth and ends down below.
Right.
The
How
anus.
long is it? It's supposed to be 22 feet, 21 feet for
Well,
human beings?
the colon itself, which is my specialty, that's what I work with.
Right.
Actually, it's not as long.
Okay.
It's the length of the body, from the big toe right up to the head.
Okay.
That's the length of one's colon. So the small intestine is about 30 feet, 22 feet to 30 feet, depending on person's height.
Okay.
It varies, just like the colon.
So colon is the large intestine. So
Exactly.
the small intestine leads to the colon,
It leads
which
to
is
the
about,
colon.
if I'm 5'2", I'll pretend I'm 5'5". My colon would be about 5'2" or 5'5",
That's correct.
right?
That's
okay.
correct.
All right.
Yes.
Well, quick question on that before I forget.
Okay.
So for people who eat meat, again, I'm back on this meat train.
Yes.
For people who eat meat, the meat probably goes rancid by the time it's ready to be ejected. So
Very good observation.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Talking
what the
about it doesn't
situation.
get-
When people have gases and they pass gas, it smells bad. Actually, the way the gas is formed is from foods rotting inside the body.
Exactly. Right.
It
That's what I
forms
thought.
gassy bubbles, and then it becomes a bigger bubble. And sometimes it gets painful, but that's really what it is.
There's another advocation for vegetarian
Exactly.
food. So how's the procedure? How does that happen? What is it?
Well, one would lie down, and I'll demonstrate how that's done a little
We're
bit
looking
later.
forward to that.
Yes. So how it's done is a tube is inserted into the anus. It's not painful. It's lubricated when it goes in. When it slides right in, it's very easy. And there's an equipment. So water is inserted through that tube, very much the same way people take an enema.
Right.
But it's a professional procedure. So water comes from the equipment, goes into the anus, and it's continuous. As water goes in, it's also exiting out.
Right.
So my job as the Coenen Hydrotherapist is to massage various parts of the colon in order to dislodge the waste that's been
And you
stored.
do that from the external part of the body.
External part
You
of
don't
the
use
body.
instruments.
No.
Okay.
I'm massaging to encourage the waste to go out of the water.
Right. Okay. Before you move on, I've got a few questions that we want clarification on.
Yes.
I'm sure our viewers would be very curious. I'd like to introduce our other guests, the really hyperactive, very, very active young lady to my extreme right, Giovanna. Giovanna, welcome back to the show. And today we're going to let your grandmother do, what did you call her? Emma?
She calls me Emma. When she was little, she could not say grandma, so she said
Oh, I
Emma.
see, Emma. So your Emma is going to take us through another journey today. So you're going to help Emma, and you're going to help our other demonstrators as well. We have Lana Parr to my immediate left. Lana, welcome back to the show. We did not complete. Lana had a question for you, and actually, I think maybe I had the same question. We were talking about your role as an iridologist.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to actually get a free consultation. Ask you, can you look into my eyes and let me know
I'll be
what
more
the
than
state
happy.
of my health?
Yes. We definitely can do that.
We'll do that after
Yes.
today's episode.
Yes.
I'd also like to acknowledge our director, Josiane. Hi, Josiane. Thank you for holding the fort in the control room. And on camera, we have Adjo Mantabia. Adjo, thank you for being there every time we needed you. Thanks to Malik Parker for the studio lights and the settings. These episodes are taped in the studios of Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I'm not sure which camera I'm supposed to be looking at. But for those of you who want to come and stretch with us, feel free. You can watch us Monday through Friday on Time Warner 57, RCN 84, and FiOS 35 at 1:30 in the afternoon, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you do not live in New York and you want to watch our episodes, you can go to mnn.org. That stands for Manhattan Neighborhood Network. It's a public access TV station. Very popular in New York. If you haven't heard about us, this is your chance to get to know more about us. So visit the website, type in Yogaxpress, YOGAXPRESS.com. I forgot in the last episode to tell you body music that you hear when I shut up. Right there is by Cesar de Parra, and the opening 3 ohms are from a track called Sapta Tandavam. I'm back to my questions. Couldn't help myself. Why would someone want to do colon therapy, hydrotherapy?
Well, because of our diet. And really, that's the main reason.
Right.
Our diet creates a lot of havoc into the digestive system. Colon hydrotherapy is really very, very basic.
Right.
It's the fundamental of one reaching good health. The colon is very responsible for keeping us healthy.
Absolutely.
In fact,
I agree.
Some experts have even mentioned that it is the most important organ in the body. Regardless what you eat, regardless how good the food is. Let's say you take organic food.
Right.
You want to start eating organically, and yet you have all this waste accumulated in the colon over many, many years. The organic food may not even reach the bloodstream.
Right.
It may take years before it actually does that. So the colon needs to be cleaned out in order for it to do its job. Every time you eat, the nutrients need to go across whatever is there in the colon to get into the bloodstream. So it just makes sense to have it.
That's why it's so important to eat right, because then you can go through the natural process of cleansing the colon.
Exactly.
If not, come and see Talmie.
Exactly.
Talmie's details are on the bottom left of the screen. You have a website, Digestive Health. INST.org. Visit her website. Give her a call. No crank calls, please. Talmie has enough on her plate already. So if you really have a problem, you have an issue, you have some questions, stay in touch with her.
Yes.
Tell me,
I was saying before, the Western diet, the way we eat, the types of foods we have, we were talking about the diet. So as we went off the last show, I was talking about proper food combination.
Right.
Some foods don't digest, they're not digesting buddies. So if you want to go swimming, you want to take a swimming buddy. So if you want to go hiking, you want to take a hiking buddy.
Digestive buddies, okay.
Right. So some foods are digestive buddies, and some foods are antagonistics. They're not. They don't
work well together.
They don't work well.
Right.
So some foods, and what I mean by buddies, some foods require a certain type of enzyme in order to digest.
Right.
So if similar foods are eaten, the types that use the same types of enzymes, then they digest together, and you don't feel bloated. You don't feel
you don't feel the discomfort.
You don't feel the discomfort.
That brings me to the question. You're talking about digestive bodies. So basically, these foods need to complement each other.
They need to complement each other because they share the same enzymes for breaking down.
Okay, so is it what? Okay, here's what my question. There are lots of questions going on in my head, but this is a question I've always had when we talk about salads, for example. Mm-hmm. Each food brings out or creates a different enzyme or requires a different enzyme for digestion.
Requires because the body has to make the enzymes. So when I have a salad,
okay, I mean they're all different foods. Isn't that overworking my system?
That's a very good question to ask. Now, you don't get so much of the overworking when it comes to the water-producing foods, as we've mentioned before.
Right.
But you do get an issue when the proteins are different, the carbohydrates are different.
That's why the combination.
Or, for instance, if you're eating a fruit salad, the fruits could require different enzymes. You would never want to eat a melon. Yes, you would never want to put melon into your fruit salad.
So fruit cocktails are out.
It depends on the fruits. You have to find the buddies.
Right.
So in order to know what those are, it's easy to go online, look up food combination chart.
Right.
And it's very easy. Make a copy of it, keep it on your refrigerator. Then if you pay attention to that, it makes a big difference in
food combination chart. I think that's a great idea. Do you have some of that on your website?
I don't, but that's a great idea. Thanks for mentioning it.
I think you can do the homework for us, and we'll just look up. We'll hit your website.
So again, going back to the Western diet, when we eat a hamburger, what's on there? You have carbohydrate, you have protein. They're enemies. They're antagonistics. They don't work together.
Right.
And then you throw everything else on. So something like that does not break down. In fact, a lot of foods we eat, the rice and beans with the chicken, with and so forth and so on. I can go. Yes. So if you were to take meals that you would eat on a regular basis, put it through a blender, and then take out all the juice and leave it out to dry. First of all, put it in a container and close the lid.
Okay.
When you go back a couple of days later, you'll find a lot of gas bubbles. Those are your gases. That's one. The other thing is
that's what's happening inside the body.
Inside the body.
Wow.
Now,
oh my God.
Even if you take that food itself, you put it out to dry. When it dries out, it becomes rock hard.
Right.
Again, so this is what happens in the colon. The colon is like a dehydrator.
Right.
Foods get in there, and it dries. The job of the colon is to dehydrate. So it keeps pulling out all liquids.
Right.
And the longer it stays in there, because you want to eliminate as soon as you want to eat like a baby does, and a moment later have a bowel movement where you're releasing what you ate previously.
Okay.
Because as the food is being eaten, there's a signal that takes place to tell the body evacuate because there's more food coming down.
Right. Make room.
In our situation, the digestive system is so messed up that these signals don't go on. And the colon keeps accumulating, getting larger.
We need a second brain.
It is a second brain.
Something. Yesterday, I ate a whole bowl of cherries, and
you're in trouble, though. We need you to be on the demo.
No, and I love them. But in the evening, I really felt very ill, and had stomach pains a lot.
I see.
Just on a bowl of cherries.
Remember I was saying how different foods don't go with everybody? So that could be the issue.
That was my next question. So who would be an ideal candidate for your therapy, Coenen Hydrotherapy?
We live in a Western world. We eat a Western diet.
Anyone would be.
So anyone would be. In fact, as Giovanna was telling you, she's been getting colonics for a long period of time. She's a little colonic expert, I would say.
So she's totally cleansed out. So do you have a demo for us today?
I most certainly will. I'll set it up and show you how it's done.
Yeah, we're all set. So you have someone to come on the mat. And we have Suzanne Grant is going to be our demo person right here. Suzanne, feel free.
Okay, so let me get started.
No, that's fine. That's good. Go ahead. Well, she's setting up. We are already started, Ron, but feel free. Come very quietly in the next episode. We're halfway through. But join us.
Just like that. Oh, excuse me.
You know what I'm going to ask her? Would you like some water? Sure. Josiane, could we have some water for our guests, please?
Okay, thank you.
Actually, Giovanna, why don't you go and get it? Got it.
Oh, excuse me. Well, in the bag, Gigi. Your drink, in the bag.
Is this similar to the colonoscopy we talk about?
Not quite colonoscopy, but
Coenen Hydrotherapy. Colonoscopy, I think, is just searching the insides for cancerous cells and stuff, right?
Colonoscopy is just like the exam. This is the wash.
Yeah, it's a scope with a camera.
Right.
It scopes in.
This is more cleansing.
This
It's
is
actually
more
doing
cleansing.
something.
I've read about young actresses that do this all the time instead of eating sometimes.
Oh, we're in good company. We're getting a live demo today.
So would this be in the way? Would that?
No, it's okay for us. You go ahead and keep talking as you go. We want to know what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Josiane. Yes, you can keep it right here on camera because we're still taping. And we have a little bit of stretching to do, so maybe about 5 minutes more.
Okay.
For the demo.
So you want to take on? Okay, so should I get started?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there are two types of Coenen Hydrotherapy, and I like to, I'm a believer in choices, so I like to offer both of them in my office because some people are more comfortable with one than the other. So when one would come for a session, we have disposable tubes that we would use. So we have two systems. One's an open system. I won't get too much into what's open, what's closed, but just so you get to understand how it works. So everyone would have a brand new tube. It's disposable. So the way it works is that there's a part that gets inserted into the anus, and so this is called a speculum. To the speculum, there's a water tube attached.
Right.
And
Joe, maybe you want to get a close-up of that.
a
so we
waste
know
tube
what's
attached. So the water would go into this part is inserted into the anus.
Okay.
Water goes in to
With
here.
the small pipe, yeah.
And when the person has had enough, they let me know. I turn the machine on release.
And it sucks it.
And the waste, no sucking.
No?
It's a very safe device. Sucking
Okay.
would really be very
More like an
dangerous.
enema. Okay.
Unfortunately, a lot of people get this sucking idea in their minds.
I know, I just looked at the pipe and I thought
No.
that's what you're going to do.
What it is on the machine, when you shut it off, the machine stops taking in water. So you've drained everything out of it, so it's blocked. So when you turn it to release,
Right.
just like a sink, if you had to have it stopped up, and you finally take
You
out,
gotta unclog.
you get that initial
Right.
feeling of something being sucked, but that's not the case. So the waste goes out through here into the machine, and on the machine I'm able to see what's going on,
Right.
what the wastes are, and I can tell people, okay, this is where you are, this is what's going on. So these are some
So
changes
it's a
we can
very
make.
safe,
It's
gentle
very
way.
safe, gentle way.
There's no
to clean the
invasive
colon.
process.
So this is quite easy. So this would be under our model, right?
Right.
And the waste would go through here where we can see.
Right.
Another equipment uses this type of a tubing, which is again disposable. That's everything's medical grade, FDA approved. So likewise, on the open system, this is what goes into the anus, only this much.
Okay.
So this would be inside the anus, only sending in water, because in that open system, opening means the waste is not going through the tube.
Right.
It's just going straight out into the sewage system. So these are the two ways, the two devices, different
that
forms
you
of
would use.
devices to use.
Right.
So once I get started with my
Cleansing.
client, this is the equipment. I am on her right side, and the equipment would be on this side of me where I can control things.
Right.
So as water's going in, my job, I'm very persistent on massage. I love massage during a Coenen Hydrotherapy. It makes a huge difference. And if I may ask our guest, Suzanne, she's had colonics without massage.
Right.
And when she came to me, she can express the difference, perhaps.
Night and day. Absolute difference.
Big
When I had it without the massage, they say when you have a good colonic, you are drained. You should feel tired.
Right.
When I had it, I was fine. I went shopping afterwards. The first time I had it done with Talmie, oh my gosh, I had to go to sleep. I had to lay down and rest. There was nothing I could do for the rest of the day. As I continued on, then it was more refreshing.
Right.
But the first one was,
Because it was new.
wow, it took out so much from me that I was like, really? I had all that in me? So it was really,
It's amazing
really...
thing. We never believe that our body holds so much weight.
Yes, so one thing that I'm really, really, really known for, I've done colonics for, celebrities, the lay people, people all over the world I've really worked on. I worked in an institute where we had this type of clientele. But overall, something my clients always say to me, I've had many colonics, but not like this.
Right.
So my goal for people is to get the most
So you
out
do
of
massage.
them.
So how do you massage?
I massage. I work a lot on the sigmoid. I'm sorry, on the ascending colon. So the colon goes up in this area, and then it makes a loop. So that loop is called a flexure, a hepatic flexure. It makes a loop so that it can go across the transverse colon,
yeah.
and then makes another loop downward this way. That would be the
Inverse colon.
the splenic, the splenic flexure, and then it goes downward. It descends. So I like to work on the ascend because that's where waste is coming from the small
That's a
intestine
blockage.
into the junction is there. So I do a lot of my work massaging the ascending colon. So as it makes a loop, the flexure there, I spend a lot of time there. And I do work a lot on the transverse, but I work quite a bit on the liver.
Right.
Because one thing through my works, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Through my works, what I've noticed is that the liver, because of the close connection, we're able to really do a lot of changes, a lot of cleansing.
Right.
And you see the difference. You see a lot of biles work their way out. So that's how my massage is done. As I'm massaging, then my client is able to see the waste come through because on the machines you can actually see
that's a
what's
really nice
working.
picture to see it.
Yes.
Well, let's do this. Let's invite Suzanne to come stretch with us because we're going to do about 10 minutes of stretching as well. When you talk about massage, because I find immediately my mind goes to postures that help massage the insides. As we're getting into those folds, those forward folds, maybe you can help us understand what's happening in our system.
Okay, I'll do
So, Giovanna, if you want to take a break, Suzanne, are you okay to stretch with us, or you'd rather not? We have about 5 minutes, so we need to do some stretching.
She's
All right.
just had some hip replacement
Oh,
surgery.
no, then we won't have you. We'll have Giovanna stay where you are. But thank you, Suzanne. We
Thank
appreciate you
you.
being there. What a great testimony. Suzanne was actually able to explain in her own words how she felt. That's great.
Yes.
Well, we have about 5 minutes, so let's do a little bit in line with what Talmie has just shared with us. Let's do some forward folds. We're going to just do seated forward folds, so we don't have to stand up. And Talmie, I think you're going to like us. You're going to love us for this because we're going to do all these. Hopefully, these kinds of forward folds will help aid what you are sharing with us. So in yoga, unfortunately, ours is very non-invasive, and also we don't do anything on the inside. But working with wellness experts like yourself, I think we could really help our system here. So extend your legs out in front of you. Flex your feet. And here, feel free to join us, Giovanna.
Oh, she's cleaning up for us.
She is a perfect helper.
She is.
Inhale your arms up, palms facing down. Keep inhaling. Take your arms all the way overhead, palms facing in. Exhale, fold from the hip. This is where I want to understand, Talmie. When I share this posture with our viewers, I like to tell them that the lower abdominal region actually presses against the upper front of the thighs. So that gives us a nice massage in the lower region of the abdomen. What is happening there? Maybe you can help us understand. Is that massage, it's not going to be as good as what you gave Suzanne, but is that good enough to start off?
It does help a lot. And what many people don't know is that our legs support the large intestine, the colon.
Right.
So in primitive moments, we would squat when we go to the bathroom.
Right.
And the squatting helps the colon to void. We don't have that anymore because with modern toilets, we get to sit and relax.
Right.
But when we get to do work on the legs, we're actually strengthening them so that they can support the colon.
Interesting.
But also,
so we're on the right track doing these stretches.
Yes.
Inhale. Let's come up. We're going to get into one other part, actually a couple of postures. We've got about 3 minutes, so let's do that. Fold your right foot in. We're going to do whatever we can to extend what Talmie had to share with us. Take your left leg all the way out to the back in pigeon posture. Now, Lana has tender knees, so you're going to go very carefully, Lana, when you go all the way back, and don't bring your foot forward too much. You want to keep it in. And in fact, in yoga terms, what we believe that you're supposed to, in the pelvic region, the heel tucks itself in. That actually helps massage the colon. I don't know if that's correct because I know nothing about the colon. All I know is that I know we get an internal massage somewhere.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to your explanation if that is correct, in fact. And then exhale and fold. Take your left leg all the way as far back as you can.
Because I have artificial knees, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew you had knee work.
Knee replacements.
Oh my God, you better be careful. Let's do this. Stay where you are. Are you
I'm
comfortable?
doing well. That's why it's taken me so long, you know.
No problem. Take your time. Those of us who are on our knee with our left leg back, exhale and fold. And this is where we're talking about the lower abdominal massage on one side. This is a pigeon posture. Press with your palms. Inhale. Let's come up. And Lana, you want to switch legs very gracefully. Bring your left leg forward and be careful. I didn't realize you had artificial knees. And then swing your right leg all the way to the back. You want to adjust your hips so your hips are actually nicely centered, and then tuck your heels into the groin area. Exhale and fold. For those of you who don't have a knee issue, feel free to bring your left foot forward. But I think in light of what Talmie has explained today, I think we're going to go with the massage part of it. So keep your heel tucked under your pelvic region. Press with your palms. Inhale. Let's come up. And then curl your toes in the right foot and glide your right knee in to meet the left. So you're okay with bringing both your knees in? You want to try this?
I'm trying.
Take your time. And then take your hands behind your back. Hold on to the opposite elbows. If you need help, call out. Otherwise, I just want you to try on your own. Bring your shoulders back. Exhale and fold. We're showing off all the forward folds so that you can help correct us if we're doing something wrong. Let's fold over. So in this posture, this is Maha Mudra or grand gesture. We're actually getting massage for the whole lower abdominal region. At least we believe we are. And if we're not doing something completely, Talmie, feel free to help us understand how we can do this better. Inhale, press with the tops of your feet, keep your back nice and straight, and let's come up. Another beautiful side twist where you extend your legs out in front of you. Are you feeling dizzy? Let's sit down. No, that's okay. Extend your legs out in front of you, both legs. And then you were talking about the squat, right? That is actually one of our postures as well.
Yes.
And we'll probably close with that. So extend your legs out in front of you. Flex your feet. Place both palms to the right side of your hip. Exhale, and here we're talking about the compression on the left side and then the right. Exhale and fold. Try to keep your feet where they are. Do not take your feet with you. Try to keep your right hip down. Inhale, let's come up. And let's turn to the other side. Both palms on the right side.